This is Irontrader. This is the last call of the day. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. And we'll take a look at the indexes, which flipped nice green today. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas, along with an EI report for crude oil. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell, stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here how we still have this inside day going, okay? That's what all it is your high and your low of today is within the high and low of the previous day, which was yesterday, okay? So now on the upside, what we're watching is today's high, that's 122.75. Yesterday's high, that's 126.95. Now if we crack that, then we'll come up here and retest that 123.615, and then we have to see what the reaction is once it gets there, okay? If it gets there, that's the key, okay? Just because a lot of times when you have this topping tail, it really will stay right down here and go sideways for a while. But if it does get above that, 123.615, your next level is going to be 125.500. Reason being is here we have a left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. Okay, all we do is take the bottom of that candle, we go for the neckline, we flip that over, and it comes up to about 125.5 level, okay? Now, here on the downside, what we're watching is we're going to be watching here the top of this candle right here, okay, 119.450. We'll look at the bottom here at 118.675. Then we'll look at today's low at 117.255. Then we'll go yesterday's low at 116.90. And then we'll go right here to the bottom of this candle. This is the gap, 115.635. Then we have this 114.750. That's your nice 8-day. And then we have the gap fill at 114.380. Now, this is actually, we had this topping tail, we had this sideways action after this breakout. Actually, this is really nothing unusual because see what happens is the candles get on the outside of those price channels. And all these blue lines are just basically just price channels, okay? So, and then what happens is it wants to come in and it wants to get back to that 8-day, okay? So I'll just show you an example. See how it got about outside and then it wants to come back towards the 8-day. Then it gets outside and wants to come right back towards that 8-day. Even if it's on a downside, see how it is? And it wants to get back to that 8-day, okay? Back to that 8-day. So just let us give a little chance here for that 8-day to catch up. And I think we have some sideways action, but this looks awful bullish. I got predictions on this, 135, 150, 200. But again, don't listen to all that. What you want to do is just take a level-to-level kind of a situation, okay? So that's what we're looking for. So what we're trading against is yesterday's candle, okay? We're looking at that high, that 126.95, and that low at 116.90 level. Okay, now when those futures open back here at 6 o'clock, we're going to be trading against today's candle, which so far is 120.275 and a low of 117.255. So that's how we have to trade this on the old Bitcoin. Okay, now we look at here, we had a little overbought, came down, and now we're kind of going sideways here. The green is still over your red here, so this is still very strong. Now we look at the weekly chart here. Wow, look how nice it is. See, we have an indecision candle, but it's a green indecision candle, okay? So we got to see how it all shake out. The key is you want to hold two levels by Friday, and that's going to be top of this candle, 112.345, and we want to hold that 109.503, and that makes sure that this pattern is still very bullish. Now, we are in the overbought situation, but it doesn't mean you can't stay overbought, okay? You know what I'm saying? We can have some sideways action like that. So just be a little bit patient here. Okay, the green is over your red, so this is looking very strong is what this is looking at, okay? So now if you want to watch, if you watch my video there at noon, what I had Bitcoin, and then I had the IBIT, which is a 1-to-1 ETF, and the BITX, which is a 2x leverage ETF. That's the one I've been trading here. So if you want to check it out here, I was at my midday trading today. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we had gold, here we got silver. Now let's just see what's going on with the old gold. Okay, so you can see here, we just had this sideways action. Looks like we had an inverse head and shoulder, a left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder, but now this is dragging on just too long here. We just have some sideways action. Now you can see here we're above this key 33.51. I did not take a trade in this here today because what I'm watching here, we got today's high is 33.85, but that's exactly what I'm watching. I'm watching this 33.89 level, okay? So even though we're above the 21-day, we have this, since we have all this sideways action, we want to make sure that we're closed above that key 33.89. Then I'll jump into GLD and I'll take it up. So I missed a little bit on the bottom, and it's not going to make any difference here. I just want that meat in the middle all the way on up, okay? So now here what we're watching on the downside is 33.51. There's your 21-day. We have that 8-day sitting right about there at 33.40, and then your 50-day at 33.37. That's all going to be your key support. We lose that, we come down here, 33.19. 32.95, 32.90 right there, 32.66, and then you retest at 32.50, and then we have the old 100-day at 32.19 level, okay? But right now here we have a nice good sideways action, and we're just holding that 21-day, 8-day, and 50-day. We're just riding that along, okay? Now on the upside, this is the candle that we want to watch because that's been the recent high here at 33.89, okay? Once we start getting above that, then we can come right at the top of this candle here at that 34.13. We come up here 34.22, and then we have 34.27, 34.68. But really, you're looking for is that 34.76 level, okay? So then we have to see what the reaction is going to be. Does it just, sideways action? Does it break through? The breakthrough, there's your target sitting right there. Very, very easy. Now you're sitting at 52. Plenty of room to run to the upside. It's not overbought or oversold. The green is this sideways action here. So this is actually it's still a very, very bullish chart when you look at this. It just, you know what I'm saying? Bottom left, upper right. It's just that we have the sideways action, and it's kind of like a nothing burger going on here. However, when you have this consolidation, when this breaks, either upside or downside, it's going to rip extremely hard. I'm going to give you an example right here on silver. Okay, look at this sideways action, and then she broke right on up here, and we had a perfect bull flag, and then she went up to the next level. Okay, so always remember that just because you have sideways action here, that doesn't mean anything like that. What you want to do is just like this. See this sideways action, and then when she broke, look how nice she broke right on up here. Okay, so just be a little bit patient with this. But what I'm looking for here is a close above that 33.89, or at least get that. Now we'll take a trade to that 34.76 level. Okay, silver. Wow, high silver here. Okay, looking here pretty good. Now, okay, we see where we broke out, hit that 39.57. Yesterday, we put the red candle in, and look where it came today. Look at that. See, this is why you trade the charts. Came right down to that 37.70, and now we're holding it. And now it looks like we might make a run up here. Now, again, if that's lost here, we're going to be looking for this 21-day at 36.93 level. However, you can see how nice that, you got to respect it, how many times it held it in the past, okay? That doesn't mean it comes down again. It's not going to hold it again, okay? So always remember that. But right now, we're holding that 8-day very, very nicely, okay? Now, on the upside, we watch today's high, 38.38, and then we're going to watch here 38.74 level, come up here, 39.22, and then we'll come up 39.57. That is your breakout. And if it gets there, what the reaction is going to be. Okay, does it crack to 40, 42, 45, or does it just kind of hang around here and then come right on down? So let's just see how this all shakes out. But when you have that topping tail like that, came right on down, and then we always look for that 8-day support. If we lose that, we go down to the 21-day. There's your catch-all. Okay, but right now she's holding, and I'm going to see how this is all trade. Might jump into that SLV. If we can get above here, today's high, that 38.38, and then we'll take it higher and be looking for that 39.57. Okay, let's take a look here now, crude oil, natural gas. Okay, here we have the old crude oil. Now, you can see here how we, if we look a step back on this, we have this big pole, and you basically have a big bear flag situation, okay? So that's pretty much what we're looking at here, okay, on the daily chart here. Now, you can see how strong that 200-day was. 68.34 here. We went into it, and we got above it, nothing. And then we got above it, looked like it was going to move higher, and then she came right on down. Now we have this series of lower highs and lower lows. But now you can see where it sold off, but where did it go? Okay, right to the 100-day, okay, and it held it, okay. So that told me I jumped out of the SCO, okay. That was a nice trade. I got right out of that. Now, if it came down and it went through that 50-day and then down to that 64-day, when you lose that, then I just jump right back into the SCO and take it down lower. But that's not what happened, okay? So you always just trade level to level. That's the key, okay? So 65.25 came down and held it, and now we're just sitting right here in the sideways action. So upside, we're going to watch today's high, 67.01. That 8-day at 67.51, the 21-day 67.86, and then we have that 68.34 level. We get above that, we'll be looking for the top of that candle at 69.65. Then we just work yourself all the way on up here. Next level is going to be 71.33, and then we come up here. You got 72.32, and then we come 73.90, 74.27, 75.74, and work yourself up to that 78.40. But just remember, this was all nothing but that war premium between Israel and Iran. That's all this was, okay? This was nothing to do with supply and demand. This was just that war premium situation. Now, you can see here how the 21 days rolling over, the 8 days rolling over here. But again, we're holding that key 100-day. That's going to be the key. So that's what we're looking for on the downside, 65.25. we're looking for that 68, 64.87. And then here's the key, is this 64. That's the bottom of that candle right there, 64 flat. We lose that, we're going to just bring this price channel right across. This is what you're looking for, is that 62.17. Then we have 61.06, and then we come down here, 59.74. Now we can venture all the way down here, 57.74, and we can come all the way down here to this 55.30 level here. Very, very easy. But right now, we're holding that 50-day, we're holding that 100-day, so you got to respect it until it tells you different. Okay? Now, you can see here, you're not overbought or oversold. The green is below your red, shows momentum there to the downside here, and that's pretty much what we have. So bottom line, watch the 100-day, the 50-day, and that 64 flat. Upside, here's what you're trading against, the 8-day, the 21-day, and that 0200 SMA here, sitting at 68.34. Okay, Natty Gas here. Now, Natty Gas is getting some life here. We had this downtrending situation. See where we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Now that is reversed, okay? Because now we're back above that 8-day, that 200-day, and now we are back here above this key 50-day and 21-day, okay? So that's looking very, very, very good. Now, UNG got as low as 15.49 and as high as 15.95. I got in a little bit late there today. I didn't get in until 15.60, and then I took it off at 15.90. I was only looking for 30 cents there. That's what I got, okay? So I'm out of the trade. Now, what we're looking for on the upside here is this 3.59 level. Okay, that's what we're looking for. We're looking at the left of the chart here at 3.57. Okay, so we got as high as we're sitting right now at Natty Gas real time at 3.56. So we're looking right here at that 3.57 level. Okay, so now you can see where it popped up. That's why I sold right into it, because this is what I was watching right here. Okay, 3.57. Even though we popped a little bit higher, okay, that told me I got to get out of that trade here. Now I could kept on going here. Well, then I can go right for that 100-day at 3.6, say 3.67 level. And then right above that, we have 3.75. And then we're looking for this double top situation at 3.84 level, okay? But right now here, we're closing back above here, and we have this nice, good uptrend. See how we have a nice series of higher highs and higher lows? Looking very, very nicely, okay? Now, downside, you want to watch that 21. Now that becomes support, 3.54. 3.53, and then we'll come down to yesterday's low, or today's low, I should say, 3.49, and then we're looking for that 200-day at 3.43, and then we have 3.40. That's your 8 SMA here. So right now here, the price now is back above all your SMAs except for the 100-day. Okay, so this is actually looking where we reverse that downtrend and we're moving on the way up. So watch that 8-day. That thing is starting to curl up here. So this is always a very, very nice trade. Okay, now RSI here looking at 52. The green wants to cross over your red here. So this could rally up here. I'll be watching the high and the low. 3.59 high, 3.49 low, and then we close at 3.56 level, okay? So I'll be watching that when those futures open up here again. Right now, I have no position, zero, absolutely none, no position. This in here, I scalped the long, I scalped the short. I have no position here in the old crude oil, okay? All right, let's take a look here now at the old indexes. Okay, here we have the Dow, S&P, and the NASDAQ. Okay, so here we have the old Dow. Came all the way down here, and we're holding that 21-day. That's the key. But if you look at that 8-day, it's starting to roll over. That's going to be very, very strong resistance, 44,352. Okay, we get above that. We go to yesterday's high, 44,504. We'll come up top of here, 44,775, and then you retest 44,885 level. Okay, downside here, just watch that 21-day. We lose that, you're going to come down to the 50-day here, the 200-day, and then always watch that gap and watch that fill. We lose all that, we're going to come right down and retest that 41,981 level. Okay. So you can see here we got to a little bit overbought. Now we're coming right on down, and that's just pretty much what you can. But watch that 8-day. That thing is starting to roll, and that's going to become very, very strong resistance. Just looking to pass. You got here, into it, down, into it, down. A little bit above it, down. So far, we couldn't get above it, okay? So watch that 8-day, very, very critical, okay? Downside, watch that 21-day, very, very key. Now, let's look at the S&P here. So S&P was riding this 8-day nicely. You can see how nice it right? Now she broke down, but looks like we're closing back above. So this is what you're watching, 52 or 62.53 level. We get above that, we're going to be rushing, going right to that 63.02. That is your breakout to take a bad boy higher. Okay. Now we got to hold that 8-day. That's key. If not, we look to today's low. Okay, that's at 62.01, and then we're going to be looking for the 21-day 61.63, and then we have your gap here. Okay, look at that 60.59. And then we look at here, 60.28, gap, fill, and then we have the 50-day at 6,000, and then we have 59.43, and then we have your 200-day, and we have your 100-day below that. But right now, the uptrend is still right there. We just have a nice, good sideways action here, okay? Now, here on the NASDAQ, this is always my favorite trade because you got the AI and all that stuff going, looking really good. Look at here how nice this is holding. See this 8-day? Okay, look how nice it held. Today, did it go lower? Yes, but where's it at right now? See, back above that 8-day. Very, very nice. Now, today's high here we had on there was a 27.31. We're looking right there to retest at 28.36. And then we got to see what happens. Does it blast through? Does it do sideways action or whatever? Okay. Now, what you're looking for on the downside, realistically, is this 8-day. We're looking for this 21-day. We're looking for this gap. Okay. So let's look at the bottom, 19.795. We're looking for this fill, 19.643. Then you got your 50-day. We have your price channel here, and then we have your 200-day, and we have your 100-day. But right now, melt up continues. We lose the 8-day. The catch-all of the 21-day is catching it very, very nicely, and we're moving right up here. Very, very strong. Look at this. Even though you get to some overbought situation, look how strong that RSI is. Very, very strong. Okay, this is like the strongest of them all here. This here is very, very strong here. This is here is the weakest of the bunch. But right now, look at that NASDAQ, how strong everybody wants to be in. Okay, that's what I got for you, and I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. We'll take a look at the old NQ. And then what we'll do is you got to figure it out. Tomorrow's Thursday. We got the EIA report there on natural gas, and sometimes that's a pretty good mover to take the old natural gas either higher or kind of a lower situation. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.